central fast-track government agency to facilitate economic development by creating an investment-friendly environment, mobilizing and managing domestic as well as foreign investments, Investment Board Nepal was born. We started with big aspirations of prosperity. And within 3 years of our existence, we signed project development agreements for 2 mega energy projects worth over $2 billion of foreign investment in PPP modality. The largest foreign direct investment project, Arun 3rd Hydropower, will alone generate 900 megawatts of electricity. Other energy projects in the pipeline will add more than 3,000 megawatts. We facilitated projects like China-Nepal Friendship Industrial Park and Venture Waste to Energy, setting benchmark in industrial and urban infrastructure development. Our private investment projects have also been single-handedly responsible in revolutionizing the cement industry in Nepal. Hongsi Shivam, the largest cement manufacturing plant, using state-of-the-art technology and making Nepal self-reliant in clinkers. Huashin Cement is set to start operations while other cement projects are in different stages of development. We set the trend of developing bankable documents, which is now followed by other agencies. So are our practices of implementing the international standard social safeguards. For the first time, we have developed a resettlement action plan, engaging the project benefit, not just the country of highest peaks, but also the investment destination with competitive advantages and business prospects. Nepal can now take up your investment to a new height, and IBN is here by your side on your expedition to the summit. IBN wholeheartedly welcomes you to invest in Nepal. Today, better than tomorrow. We commit to you remarkable experiences of growth in your business.
What an amazing video, ladies and gentlemen, identifying investment opportunities and facilitating those investments in Nepal. Investment Board Nepal has definitely been doing tremendous work. र आजको यस बिजनेस फोरम हामी सुरु गर्न गइरहेका छौं जहाँ दुईजना प्रेजेन्टर्सहरु आउनुहुन्छ र उहाँहरूले चाहिँ अहिले इन्भेस्टमेन्ट बोर्डमा के कस्ता अथवा नेपालमा के कस्ता इन्भेस्टमेन्ट अपर्चुनिटिजहरु छन् भन्ने बारेमा उहाँले बुझाउनुहुन्छ सँगसँगै अहिले करेन्टली के कस्ता प्रोजेक्टहरु चलिरहेका छन् भन्ने बारेमा पनि उहाँहरूले बुझाउनुहुन्छ. So without any further delay, we would now like to start our business forum here at day 2 of Nepal Infrastructure Summit, and I would now like to invite on stage Ms. Pragya Adhikari, consultant at Investment Board Nepal. She'll be talking about investment opportunities in Nepal.
Thank you, Sadiksha. Is the presentation up? Okay. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I, on behalf of Investment Board Nepal, would like to extend a warm welcome to all the participants joining us here today. We are highly encouraged by your presence here and appreciate your interest to explore and learn more about Nepal and Investment Board as well as investment opportunities in Nepal. Here's a brief outline of the presentation where we will be talking about Nepal, touching upon the plans and programs of the government of Nepal and major laws relating to investment. Here we will also be briefly providing an overview of IBN, its achievements, strategic plan, and share information about IBN's project portfolio. And lastly, we will end our presentation on with a short brief about IBN Project Bank Guideline. Nepal at a glance. Nepal, as we all know, is a country with a booming market of almost 30 million people. We have always taken pride in our majestic landscape, rich cultural heritage, warm people, great climate, and being a country rich in natural resources makes Nepal a promising investment destination in energy as well as travel and tourism sector. Situated between two emerging economies of the world, India and China, we believe Nepal has a unique advantage of being a land-linked country rather than being termed as a landlocked country. Nepal has an open and easy access to a market of about 2.8 billion people in its neighboring countries. We'll be talking a little bit about the favorable investment climate in Nepal. As earlier said, located between the two biggest growing economies of the world, Nepal provides a strategic location for investment. Foreign investment in Nepal is allowed up to 100% in all the sectors, except the ones unlisted in the negative list of Foreign Investment and Technology Transfer Act 2019. Foreign invested companies are given national treatment and are treated at par with the domestic investors and companies. Nepal offers an unmatched demographic mix with over 70% of its population in the working age. And within that working age, 40% of this is in the age of 15 to 34 age group. So this demographic mix translates into a cost-competitive human resource. With regards to the investment climate again, besides its access to the neighboring markets, being a member of the multilateral and regional institution like MIGA, WTO, BIMSTEC, and SAFTA, Nepal has an easy market access to the world. Nepal also enjoys a duty-free, quota-free access to European Union and a duty-free access to United States for some of the limited products. To create a conducive environment for investment and to promote Nepal as an attractive investment destination, Government of Nepal has reformed and revised many policies and laws in the past year. It has also signed a bilateral investment promotion and protection agreement called as BIPA and double taxation avoidance agreement called DITA with many countries as indicated in the slide here. Now moving on to the FDI trend into the country. If you look into the FDI inflow in Nepal, the trend has improved over the years. The country experienced an increase in its FDI on average from the fiscal year 2010-11 to fiscal year 2019 and 20. We can see FDI achieved a steady rise from the fiscal year 2012-13 to fiscal year 2017 and 18. There's a slight reduction or a reduce in the fiscal year 2018 and 19 and picked up again in the fiscal year 2019-20. According to Nepal Rashtra Bank, Nepal's FDI stock stood at NPR 198.52 billion for the fiscal year 2019-20. Looking at the sectoral FDI stock, you can see manufacturing, mining, and quarrying sector has the highest FDI stock of about 56.07 billion, which is about 28.3% of the total FDI inflow, followed by electricity, gas, and water sector. If we observe the last 3-year trend from 2018 to 20, there was a sharp increase in FDI stock in the electricity, gas, and water sector, which was driven by the investment in the major ongoing hydropower projects. Again, looking at the FDI trend, here's the latest Department of Industry report on FDI status in Nepal, which is about for 2022, which depicts an improving trend of foreign investment in Nepal. Now looking into investment commitment in the country, as we can see here, there's a gap between the approved FDI and the actual net FDI inflow in Nepal. Between 2068-69, right in front of the chart, which is about 1996 to 1997, and 2077-78 Nepali year, 2020-21 English. Total FDI, actual net FDI inflow stood about 34% of the total FDI approval. The gap between the commitment and the actual FDI inflow in its is also narrowing down. The gap in the FDI realization is due to the significant time lag between the approvals and the actual investment. Moving on to the national plans and programs, the government of Nepal has been implementing the 15th plan of development that has envisioned investment of over 79 billion in the 5-year period starting from 2019. Out of this estimation, government expects about 56% of investment realizing from the private sector. As per the plan, the GDP will increase from the existing, the GDP in the industry sector particularly, will increase from 15.2 about to almost 20% in the plan period. This creates a lot of room for private investment in the various sectors in the country. In addition to graduating to a middle-income country status by 2030, the government of Nepal has also set some specific targets, such as generating 15,000 megawatt of energy, building around 2,000 kilometers of rail network and black-topped roads, building 5 international airports and attracting 5 million tourists in that time frame. Therefore, to achieve the desired government vision of economic prosperity, a lot of works remains to be done in building necessary and critical infrastructure for which FDI remains a pivotal source of fulfilling the resource gap. Like I said before, our government in Nepal in the past has reformed many laws related to investment. Laws like the Environment Protection Act, Foreign Investment and Technology Transfer Act, Public-Private Partnership and Investment Act, Company Act, Industrial Enterprise Act have been amended and revised to create an investor-friendly environment. And the regulation related to these acts have also been promulgated to implement the provisions mentioned in the act as well. Here are some other related acts and provisions that are related to investment in the country. In terms of institutional mechanism, here are some of the key government agencies or institution or line ministries relating to investment in Nepal. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me brief you about Investment Board of Nepal that today we're representing from. As you can see here, Nepal Investment Board was established in 2011 to fast-track mega investment projects in Nepal. Along with investment promotion, Investment Board is currently working to fast-track mega infrastructure projects, to fine-tune investment-related policies, to identify and mobilize credible and bankable projects, to facilitate and provide efficient investor services through a fast-tracking mechanism. The Public-Private Partnership and Investment Act 2019 and the subsequent regulation in 2020 has given a mandate to IBN to manage and develop PPP, public-private partnership projects, and facilitate private investment projects in Nepal. As you can see the structure of the board here, it's a high-level, high-powered government agency chaired by the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and some of the key ministries and head of agencies and government as the member of the board. There is also representation from private sector in the board. CEO is the member secretary as well as head of the IBN Secretariat, known as the Office of the Investment Board, also known as OIBN. Lastly, as per the Act, IBN provides FDI approvals and manages project with threshold investment size more than NPR 6 billion for both PPP and private investment projects, and for energy projects, if the capacity of the project is more than 200 megawatts, then it comes under the purview of IBN. FDI approval for all projects with the investment size less than that of the threshold is facilitated through Department of Industry. That brings to the end of my presentation. Now I would like to call upon my colleague, Mr. Akshat Paudel, to continue with the rest of the presentation. Thank you. Thank you for your patience and being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Pragyaji. Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Here we can see IBN achievements in past 10 years. We have approved FDI of 33 projects, amounting to a total of USD approximately 9 billion, and currently we are facilitating 6.2 billion out of 9 billion. As IBN is concluding its 10-year anniversary, where it formulated 5-year strategic plan focusing on the 4 major pillars of institutional development, that are project development and management, investment promotion, institutional development, coordination, collaboration and partnership. As Nepal aspires to graduate to the middle income country by 2030, tremendous amount of investment would be required, and thereby creating investment opportunity in all sectors. Some of the priority sectors where there is huge potential for investment are energy, tourism and transportation. Similarly, manufacturing, mines and minerals, ITC are also prominent sector for investment. We have detailed information on these sectors in Investment Guide 2021 that can be easily downloaded from IBN website. Now let me talk about few projects under IBN portfolio. Green and clean energy projects are dominant projects, in particular hydropower, which are being managed and facilitated by IBN. 900 megawatt Arun 3 hydroelectric project, an export-oriented project with an estimated project cost of 1.1 billion USD, is approaching halfway of its construction work. Likewise, 900 megawatt export-oriented Upper Karnali hydroelectric project is in the process of achieving financial closure. Other projects like 679 megawatt Lower Arun, 756 megawatt Tomor storage, 327 megawatt Upper Marsangdi, 250 megawatt grid-connected solar projects are in the various stages of project development. Likewise, various projects in transportation sector, urban development sector, tourism infrastructure sector are also in the different stages of project development. As we all know, IBN has recently signed an MOU with NSPC for study and development of joint 750 megawatt West Sethi hydroelectric project and 450 SR6 hydroelectric project in Sudur Paschim project. Likewise, we are also preparing to conduct a study on various projects like electronic bus transit project, Pokhara International Convention Center project, Taltalaya multi-tourism project, Sudur Paschim public transport project, Janaki Heritage and Cultural Village project, Gautam Buddha Maternity project, Khaptar integrated project with master plan, amongst the other. Now let me talk about the green concept embedded project in IBN. The cement project with private investment facilitated by IBN are Hongshi Shivam Cement and Washing Narayani Cement, which are equipped with energy waste heat recovery plant that utilizes waste heat to produce power. Currently, Hongshi is generating 12 megawatt from such system and planning to have another 12 megawatt in second phase. Additionally, Hongshi has installed electrostatics precipitator as filtration system that filters dust particle to the maximum extent. As we can see, the project cost for Hongshi is 304 million USD, and daily production is 3,000 metric ton per daily. per day. Similarly, Washing is also planning to generate 600 megawatt from waste heat recovery system and install the electrolysis precipitator as well. The investment cost for Washing Cement Narayani project is 118 million USD with 3,000 metric ton per day production capacity. A part of these projects, IBN has devoted its quality time in preparing IBN Project Bank. The guideline of IBN Project Bank shall be unveiled in the Sustainable Infrastructure Investment Forum, SIF 2022. IBN Project Bank ensures evidence-based project development approach and help to make informed decision in process of identifying and developing credible and bankable project. We believe it complements IBN effort to achieve higher efficiency in implementation of PPP projects and create opportunity for private sector to contribute towards national development objective. The major objective of the project bank, first, is to create well-planned pipeline of bankable infrastructure projects. Second, to develop bottom-up approach for enhancing project readiness that will help to attract domestic as well as foreign direct investment. Third, is to streamline the development of infrastructure project based on appropriate development modality. As we can see in the figure, there are 4 stages of IBN project ban, which consist of project identification, screening, selection and ranking, appraisal and prioritization, and the development of project bank. We'll be sharing more details on the project ban guideline during SIF event 2022. Lastly, as a way forward, I would like to say that in context of ensuring sustainable development goal, Government of Nepal has been encouraging and promoting investment in green infrastructure project and will continue to do since our plans and policies are aligned towards this. There is an ample opportunities for garnering investment in large infrastructure project, and IBN as high-powered board is the first reference point for investment in Nepal. It will continue to promote and accelerate private investment, including FDI in country. Having said that, we welcome you to explore opportunities to invest in Nepal and assure you to provide the support from investment boards as appropriate. We are very optimistic about where things are headed and greatly encouraged by commitment of private sector and looking forward to working with you all in making Nepal a promising investment destination. With this, I have reached to end of my presentation. I would like to thank you all for your kind participation. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paudel. अक्षितजी र प्रज्ञाजीले IBN का ongoing projectsहरुका बारेमा र opportunities के कस्ता हुन सक्छन् त भन्ने बारेमा हामीलाई बुझाउनु भयो. They just talked about IBN and the opportunities that Nepal can present, and we also would like to acknowledge the presence of the Undersecretary of IBN, Mr. Ramesh Adhikari ji. He would be taking questions from the floor, so if the floor and the audience has any questions about the slide that was shown, the opportunities, we'd like to encourage a two-way conversation or two-way communication. And I'd also like to invite Mr. Ramesh Adhikari on stage.
So, distinguished participants, chair of the CNI and other participants, and we from the IBN we have presented already. So if there are any issues or any queries, we are here to respond on them. Please. I guess you need mic.
Probably audible. Okay, here. Well, just good morning. I'd like to thank your colleagues, your consultants, for this interesting presentation. And it gives us a very good picture of the work of IBN, the structure of IBN, and the remit. The question I wanted to ask was, I was attending the opening inaugural session yesterday, and there were some very pertinent presentations around the challenges for taking forward large infrastructure projects in Nepal. And these are actually global challenges, not just for Nepal. And there was a lot of discussion around the governance of infrastructure. And I saw in the presentation that you are supporting, facilitating, taking forward half a dozen large hydropower projects. And I was wondering, in the power sector, in your role in IBN, what are some of the major obstacles when you're trying to take those projects forward? Because obviously there will be delays, there will be many challenges along the way, and in IBN you have to deploy your staff to try and move those projects forward smoothly. And I was wondering, what are the biggest hurdles and obstacles that you face when you're trying to take forward a project through to implementation?
Thank you very much for the question. So today, the fifth session, I mean, our CEO will be participating in that session, and more on the governance will be talked here. But let me respond you on particularly major obstacles, as you mentioned, in the hydroelectric projects. Look, IBN is a dedicated agency to handhold and facilitate the projects which are beyond certain threshold, that is above 51 million USD. So IBN is a PPP nodal agency and IPA, investment promotion agency. If you see the projects on that scale, it takes years to complete. From ideating to COD, you estimate around 5 to 10 years on average. So in you see, hydroelectric sector is one of the comparative advantages sector in Nepal. And if you see the different river basins we have and the investment interest that has been manifested during past 20 years after the government of Nepal adopted the liberalized economy, then you see one of the major issue is market. So once you have market, in terms of technology, in terms of capital, I guess there is no much hurdles. So besides this, there are a lot of issues that has been intangible in a project. A lot of agencies undergoing. For example, hydroelectric project, there is a power ministry already in the scene, then the Ministry of Forest, land, other, the key agencies. If you want to evacuate the power, maybe the NEA in case of Nepal, and if you want to evacuate the power to other countries, that is also going in a good notion. Bangladesh, yesterday, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, she has put her proposal to the Indian Prime Ministers to requesting to provide the opportunity to get the access to evacuate the power through India. So in this case, market is major challenge, and it will be the opportunities for Nepal as well. So any investors who are thinking in terms of hydroelectric project and other electric, I mean the energy projects, I mean they should not hesitate now, you know, the market access being explored and the opportunities we can see, visualize. And other issues, I mean, that can be manageable within the control of the government of Nepal and within the control of the ecosystems that can be managed. I guess I responded you well. Thank you. If
Can I go next? Hello.
hello.
Yeah.
Sir.
Me, Gyanan Lal Pradhan. I'm senator for Kahana University. I'm also in CNI. When I see a project, congratulations, $6.5 billion. It's at least in the field. I can see, I think, two types of projects. One project, what we need foreign currency, they are bringing foreign currency like Arun 3, almost bringing $2 billion already, and they're bringing more, and not using the local fund. And some project, I don't want to name, but you can see that they are not bringing the foreign currency, and we call them FDI, and we give all the facility, and they use the local funding, which is the biggest problem for the private sector now, because the liquidity crunch is so heavy. So do you have any policy how FDI should bring the financing from outside, because since they have approached for outside and not use the local finance? Number one question. Number two questions, you have one project I can see that's called BRT for the Kathmandu Ring Road. That's for the electrical buses moving faster than what we have today and making your public transport system much better. But I didn't see your focus, because people are suffering in Kathmandu with the public transport system. They have to take your vehicle, and it's a traffic jam problem is there. So do you have anything to say on this BRT system, which you plan in your, let's say, website, but I didn't see the things moving forward? Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you, sir. Let me respond the first question directly. I guess the time is running, so let me directly respond on the first questions, you know. So any companies, any investors across the globe, they can come and invest in Nepal, and they can repatriate what they have owned, aligning with the government regulations and the policies. That's one issue. And we have committed for national treatment, and we are the member of the WTO, so there is no any disparity, discrimination allowed. And in terms of project financing, what we have experienced is some of the projects, they have utilized the local resources as well. If bank and financing institution in Nepal are able to provide financing them, then we have, I guess, no questions on that part, because the banking, the banking and the finance institution, they look the basic, things in terms of profit or trust like that, and as far as they are convinced, we should not have any problem. But the issue you've raised is, the deeper and serious. I know, I can sense. Regarding that, we had invited Honorable Finance Minister and get interacted with some of the developers in the Office of the Investment Board. And I remember Honorable Minister encouraged the developers to garner the financing from abroad, looking the country situation that we are facing now. So on your point, I believe we should encourage the investors to bring financing from abroad, so that will help in terms of foreign reserves and other things. But at this stage, we cannot direct them, you should do this or that. It depends on the, supply and demand of the money. As long as they feel comfortable and they get some additional benefit, financing from local market, that is good. But for us, it's also good to provide financing, sort of financing from the country within itself. For example, we have heard that upper Karnali hydroelectric project, GMR, they have to provide some sorts of guarantee against the Bangladesh Power Authority to evacuate the power, to sell the power to them. And I heard there is a shortage in the market, so banking institutions are now hesitating to provide that. So this is one of the indicator of the nation. We are now graduating from LDC to developing one, and we have to be still confident to provide some sorts of confidence in the market, and the banking sector is one of the good indicator to have that. So we should not be hesitating. I mean, the banking sector, if they can come up with certain, the financing to the big and larger projects, they should be welcome. But we should also mindful on garnering the FDI, through the foreign reserves as well on that part. And regarding policies, it has been well taken, and I thank you for this issue as well. Let's see how the government of Nepal, because only investment board cannot respond on that. Maybe we can talk to the Nepal Rashtra Bank, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and then we will be able to respond you on that more in the year in the days to come. On e-mobility, urban mobility, on e-mobility has been become one of the challenges and opportunities for countries like Nepal. For the cities, you see, we have now 7 provinces, and we should assume 7 provincial market, in terms of population, having, the lot of population, and we need to be able to cater the services demanded by the large population, In Kathmandu also, we have come up with the idea of this e-BRT in the ring road. We also know that this will not be sufficient to serve the people at present. But the idea is basically we will be able to, the showcase, okay, this type of project is also possible in Kathmandu. And we can also think, to connect the major, the places, for example, CBD, government center, marketplaces, connecting them through the public vehicles, and basically based on the the electric vehicles. So we are working on that. Not only on that, we are also dealing with the projects that can assemble and manufacture the electric vehicle in Nepal. We are also open to that, and we are also dealing with some projects. And this e-BRT will conclude the TOR soon, and we'll have a study on that after the pre-feasibility study, and we will be able to come up with the basic idea, how we can implement this e-BRT concept in the ring road in the first phase, and gradually, based on the learnings, we can replicate this model in other cities as well. That's what I can tell you now.
I have one question, if I may.
You have time? Okay.
Can I ask a question? Hi. Thank you for a very intriguing presentation. My name is Abiral. I'm representing NIFRA from the investment research team. So my question is actually focused on the last slide that Akshay showed on green infrastructure and sustainability. So we all know that like Nepal has a lot of opportunity for green infrastructure, green client projects. One study by IFC showed that we have like 40 billion USD investment opportunity in green, but only 7 billion is kind of dispersed. So in that case, like how is IBN, often development partners are looking for those kind of ESG integration and like quantifying the impact of the green projects. So how is IBN like basically, like facilitating on that aspect to mostly with, while talking with development partners, like to show the result from the private investors, it costs like around 5 to 10% more to do green projects. So in that case, is IBN also doing projects which are not just commercially viable, but also looking after the economic side, social side? And are you, do you have any funding mechanism planned to do something like VGF or hybrid annuity model, such things to, promote such green inclined projects? Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. Maybe we'll not be able to respond on this well, because this is very big issue, green projects. But we have to, because global commitments, we have to abide by that. And in COP26, our government also committed. So on sustainable development, we have to keep our paces with the global, the scenario. But as still as LDC, and we have to do a lot, in the infrastructure, investment in the industry sector. So we have not said we'll go for only green. We have other opportunities, other projects still we have. We can work on that. But the idea is that this is now time to think, on the green projects as well, so that in long run, the green cost of the green projects would be, on average, would be the same, considering the, the other factors, the livability and other sustainable, indicators. At the end, we need to think on that part, and this is high time for the people living in the earth, to think globally. So on that part, IBN and other agency also should be thinking to promote the green investments, and we have a lot of potentials, on that part. We have like solar, we have like wind, and we have hydroelectric projects. So why not, utilize that resources? On that part, we have focused on the green projects. And as a example, for example, why we said e-BRT, why we said e-mobility, EV vehicles manufacturing. These are because we are now already started thinking towards that. So in few years' time, we will be able to, showcasing some of the green projects besides energy projects, to the country and to the global community, so that, that will be one part would be our contribution to the sustainable global environment, and other is a commitment we have manifested times and against to the global, the agreements.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, I guess there is no any more questions.
Do we have any more questions? Okay, one last question for the session.
Thank you, sir. This is Guru Neopane, independent power producer in Nepal. Sir, I like to know your opinion regarding these green hydrogen type of projects, because now these hydrogen projects are going to be very popular, and they will substitute the energy consumption in the world. Therefore, are there any possibility that if I desire to build some projects, are there some financing or technical facilities available over Nepal? Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the short questions, but very impactful questions. First of all, IBN is one of the government agency that was established to tackle critical projects, and if in terms of this green hydrogen projects, and this is quite new for us, but in the global, the scenario, some countries has already reached to an advanced stage. And beyond green, the hydrogen, there are other, some countries like China, US, and some European countries, they have already, they embark on exploring, beyond these. And it is like a dream for us, So what I believe, IBN is a fast-track agency, is an innovative agency, always welcome those innovative ideas. If any investors they have some ideas based on, I mean, the green hydrogen, and they see possibilities in Nepal. IBN is ready to handle, IBN is ready to welcome those propositions. At this stage, I will be able to say only this. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this was our business forum, the first parallel session. We would now like to I'd like to invite our VP of CNI, Krishna Prasad Adhikari ji, to kindly come on stage to present this token of appreciation to our two presenters who talked about IBN and the opportunities, investment opportunities in Nepal. So I'd like to invite Ms. Pragya Adhikari and Mr. Akshit Raj Paurel to kindly join us on stage. उहाँहरूलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद इन्भेस्टमेन्ट बोर्ड नेपालका बारेमा हामीलाई जानकारी दिनुभयो सँगसँगै नेपालमा के कस्ता इन्भेस्टमेन्ट अपर्चुनिटिज रहेका छन् भन्ने बारेमा पनि हामीलाई जानकारी दिनुभएकोमा धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now start the business session 4, which is on innovative financing for infrastructure. But before that, we're going to take a 10-minute tea break as we'll have to expand the hall and make it bigger. So we would like to request all of you to kindly give us 10 more minutes. So yaharu sabai janale afno bihanako chia coffee piunu bhayeko chaina bhane please feel free and enjoy that cup of tea and coffee, and then please be back in the next 10 minutes as we expand the hall and get everything ready for the 4th business session here at Nepal Infrastructure Summit 2022.